Hello my friends, welcome back to the kitchen at Thuya Hill. I'm really glad to have you here today because today we're going to be making a calendula tincture and I can't wait to share with you how to make it. So let's get started. Many of you are probably here because you already know the benefits of calendula. The Latin name for calendula is Calendula officinalis and it is also known by its common name as pot marigold. There are many ways that you can use this flower besides just inside of a beautiful flower arrangement. Now, it's a beautiful little yellow flower with these gorgeous tiny little petals. It has a nice scent, and it has a varied number of uses. Lots of people make creams or salves. They infuse the flowers into oil, and you can also make a tincture, and that is done by infusing it into some sort of alcohol. Now, it's not recommended to use rubbing alcohol, obviously. You can use any sort of high-proof alcohol, such as brandy, vodka, even Everclear. What I have here is a 75% grain alcohol, and that is what I'm going to use today to make my calendula tincture. So as you saw from the previous footage, I went to the garden. It's mid-afternoon, and I picked my calendula flowers. Now, not all of them are completely open, but that's okay. There is some wiggle room with harvesting your calendula. The main idea is that you don't want to harvest them in the morning when there's still dew on the petals. It's best to harvest them from the garden once the dew has left the petals. You can make this tincture either with dried flowers or just fresh calendula flowers. Really, the biggest deal is having a proper proof of alcohol in order to make the tincture. Now, if you want more information about calendula and the tinctures and how to make them and the historical uses, I highly recommend this book by Penelope Odie. She is a member of the National Institute of Medical Herbalists in the United Kingdom, and she's a very respected resource in the world of herbalism. This is a fantastic book to have in your library if you are looking for information about different herbs in your garden and how to use them and whatnot. Obviously, this goes without saying, but this is not medical advice. You do your research. So this is a tincture that I'm only going to use externally. I am not going to use it internally. What we're going to do to make this tincture is we're going to put the flowers directly into our jar. It's a really easy process. So on several of these flowers, I left a little bit of a stem. I am going to go ahead and trim the stem off a little bit and then just stick my flowers right into my jar. Okay, so now that I have filled my jar with our fresh calendula flowers, I'm going to go ahead and cover this with the alcohol. Now, I have the jar about half filled, so the goal is to cover the herbs at least 2 to 3 inches with additional alcohol. And so I'm going to do that now. One other note, if you are interested in learning more about why calendula is good or where to make tinctures, a great resource is Rosemary Gladstar. She is a very well-known herbalist. Penelope Odie is also on that list of great people to learn from. There are tons of websites out there that can assist you. And you will notice when you look for recipes online, there are as many different recipes to make a calendula tincture as there are pieces of sand on the seashore. The real basic structure of a tincture like this is to have a high proof alcohol of some kind, fresh or dried flowers, and a sufficient amount of alcohol to cover your product. And that's it. So now we're going to go ahead and cover the flowers with our alcohol. Okay, so beautiful. As you can see, the flowers have floated to the top and there's about 2 inches of extra space at the bottom, and that's fine. Now we're going to cover with a tight lid and we're going to leave this in a cool, dark spot for between 4 and 6 weeks. And after our calendula flowers have sat in this alcohol for 4 to 6 weeks, we are going to strain out the flowers and put the liquid into a dark amber jar, and I will store it in my cabinet. And that's it, my friends. That is how you make your own homemade calendula tincture using fresh calendula flowers. I would love to hear from you in the comments below if you've made any sort of tinctures, and if so, what are your favorite kind to make? Thank you so much for joining me on today's video, and I do look forward to seeing you in the next one very soon. Goodbye for now.